Good morning, guys. It is a beautiful Monday morning. It's looking kind of cloudy-ish, but I'm still seeing the radiance of the sun seeping through. And so I'm here continuing in Luke chapter 10 and reading from verse number 3, where he says, "Now go and remember that I am sending you out as lambs among wolves. Don't take any money with you, nor a traveler's bag, nor an extra pair of sandals, and don't stop to greet anyone on the road." Now, here it was, Jesus was talking with his disciples. This was now 70 of them, and he was sending out to the places that he would later go to. And he says to them, "I'm sending you out as lambs among wolves." But yet he goes on and he says, "Hey, listen, don't take anything with you. Don't take any money. Don't take any extra sandals. Just go." One of the things I personally see in this is the level of faith. I think he was raising the level of faith. They had gone through several things with him along the way. And now he says, "Hey, you go out and do what I do. I go out there. I don't take extra stuff. I just simply depend on the power of God. I depend on God's divine provision, God's divine direction in everything that I do. So I want you to go there and do what I do." And I think that's one of the things that he asks us to do, to go out there and do what he does. And he says, "Hey, listen, don't take anything with you." One, because he wanted them to be completely dependent on his leading, his guidance, his provision. And that's a difficult place to be. I can personally tell you from experience that being in a place where you're completely dependent on God all the time for every single little thing, even your daily sustenance, is one of the things that's required of us as Christians, but many of us find it a difficult thing to do. We want to ensure that we have a job and we have some other ways, something else that says, "Hey, listen, I'm sure of what is coming," but to be on a daily basis not sure of what is coming at you, whether or not all your needs are going to be met in the way that you want them to, and all this thing is a difficult task. However, the benefits of doing that grows your faith in such an awesome way that it's something that I think every one of us usually brought to that place, because God needs us to be completely dependent on him, not on our intellect, not on our friends, not on what we have. He's given us gifts, he's given us talents, he's given us personality, and everything that you have to accomplish that destiny, that task that he sends you out with, is within you. I think that's also another point that we can take from here. What they needed was within them. It wasn't something that they need to carry in a bag and all those stuff. What you need to accomplish your destiny is within you. You don't need to have a particular, a suitcase with stuff and a this with stuff. It's already within you. God has placed your destiny within you. It's not in the things that you possess. It's within your heart. It's within your mind. It's within your spirit. And he says, "I'm sending you as lambs among wolves." Now, there's a distinct difference in how lambs behave and how wolves behave. And that is something that we need to see. We need to see the difference between how Christians are dealing with stuff, how Christians are behaving compared to how the other people in the world are behaving, compared to what they're saying, compared to what they're doing. But yet, even though they were doing that, he wanted them to understand that you must be lambs. You mustn't become with this big aggressive stuff all the time. Go out there and spread God's love. The wolves go out there and they're predators, and they're looking for things to grab and whatever. But as God's children, we're to go out there with his love, doing it differently. There is this story about the sun and the storms trying to make a point as to who's going to get this guy to take his coat off. The wind and the cold wind was just blowing and thinking, they had to take turns, and so the cold wind was just blowing, and the more he blew, his force and his aggression, the more tightly the guy held his coat on him. And the sun just came out and just shone, and the warmth of the sun is what made the guy take his coat off. And I think it's something like that. Our warmth, our love, our kindness is supposed to help people to take off their defenses and come to God. We're supposed to fill them with that to the point that it makes them make a decision for Christ, not the aggression, not the wolf like behavior, not the predator behavior, but a behavior that says we are coming with the love of God. We are coming with something different, something warm. And he says, among wolves, so there's a whole lot of wolves out there grabbing for their attention, grabbing for their heart, grabbing for them. Sometimes they're people that draw the very substance out of others just to get their own personal fulfillment, just to get their own personal way in whatever it is that they want to do. But we are different. We're to be lambs. There's so many people who long for it, but they don't see it because they're among wolves. But when we come, that's what we're supposed to bring. And be completely dependent on God as you go into this day, as you go into your destiny, not on the things that you have. He says, take nothing. Completely depend on me. That's my journey at this moment. I am completely depending on God for every little thing, every little decision. If I go on the road and I'm trying to figure out if I should go left, I should go right, what I should do on a daily basis, I stop and I tap into God and I say, Father, you lead. Not going to depend on my intellect. I'm not going to depend on my own reasoning, but I'm going to depend on you. And it is a joy to see what happens at the end of the day when you let him do that. It is just amazing what is accomplished in and through you. Also, one of the things it speaks about is our commitment to this thing. That even though it may seem as if you don't have all the resources, you are still fully committing yourself to go in and accomplish what God sent you forth to do. And that is something that is commendable and reap bountiful rewards. Your commitment to the call, your commitment to doing what God says you should do, in spite of the supposed lack of resources, because God is a provider, and at the right time, He provides everything that is needed to accomplish that task, to accomplish your destiny. And so that's what I want to encourage us to do as we go into this day. And remember that He loves you, and I do too. Be blessed. Have an awesome day.